The sun hung high over Willow Lane in Columbus, Ohio, casting a warm glow on the neatly manicured lawns and brick colonials that lined the street. It was a neighborhood where predictability reigned supreme, where every hedge was trimmed to the same height, and every mailbox stood at attention like soldiers in formation. But on this particular morning, something disrupted that perfect order. A moving truck rumbled to a stop in front of the old brick colonial at the corner, its engine humming like an unwelcome intruder. Patricia Kincaid, the HOA president, felt the disturbance before she even saw it. From her vantage point in her living room, peering through the slats of her blinds, she watched the truck's door slide open with a metallic clang. Her lips tightened into a thin line. Unusual was not tolerated on Willow Lane. Unusual meant change, and change meant chaos. Patricia didn't like chaos. She thrived on control, on the bylaws she enforced with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel. She stepped outside, her heels clicking sharply against the concrete driveway, echoing like warning shots. Crossing her arms over her crisp blouse, she adjusted her sunglasses, surveying the scene with the authority of someone who believed the neighborhood bent to her will. The woman emerging from the truck was tall, with steady posture and focused eyes. She balanced a medium-sized box against her hip, her movements efficient and unhurried. Selena Ward, though Patricia didn't know her name yet, set the box on the porch and brushed a strand of hair from her face, turning back toward the truck without so much as a glance in Patricia's direction. "Excuse me," Patricia's voice cut through the air, sharp and unyielding, carrying across the street like a command. Selena looked over, caught off guard but polite. "Morning," she replied with a small smile, her tone warm despite the interruption. Patricia didn't return the smile. Instead, she stepped closer, her heels announcing each advance. "Are you aware of the HOA guidelines here?" Selena blinked, tilting her head slightly in confusion. "Guidelines? Yes, rules about occupancy, property standards, and other matters," Patricia said, her words laced with the condescension of someone used to lecturing. She eyed the boxes piling up on the porch, her mind already labeling Selena as an outsider, a renter, someone who didn't belong in this community of homeowners. "I'm not sure what you mean," Selena replied carefully. "I just moved in." "Moved in, as in you're renting this property?" Patricia pressed, her eyes narrowing behind her sunglasses. Selena paused, reading the assumption in Patricia's tone. She recognized the arrogance, the quick judgment, but chose her words with care. "I live here now, yes." That vague answer only fueled Patricia's suspicion. She took another step forward, her voice rising just enough to assert dominance. "Renters aren't permitted on Willow Lane. It's in the bylaws. This is a community of homeowners." Selena's patience thinned, but she kept her composure. "I don't see how that's your concern. I'm unpacking, if you'll excuse me." But Patricia wasn't one to be dismissed. "It is my concern. I'm the president of the HOA. It's my responsibility to maintain the integrity of this neighborhood. People here take pride in ownership." Selena took a quiet breath, forcing a calm smile as she lifted another box. "That's good to hear." She refused to engage further, turning her attention back to the truck. But from across the street, blinds shifted. Neighbors were watching, drawn to the unfolding drama like moths to a flame. Patricia thrived on the audience, the performance of her authority. "You can't just move in without proper documentation." Patricia pressed, her voice carrying louder now. "I'll need to see a copy of the lease at the very least." Selena set the box down slowly, her patience cracking. "Elise," she repeated, her tone steady but sharper. "Yes, don't act like you don't know," Patricia said, accusation dripping from her words. "The owners here don't just sell to anyone, and they certainly don't allow their properties to be used for temporary rentals." Selena studied her for a long moment, the weight of those assumptions hanging heavy in the air. She had dealt with people like Patricia before, the certainty, the arrogance wrapped in a cloak of authority. Still, she chose not to escalate, not yet. "I think you'll find," Selena said carefully, "that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." Patricia raised her eyebrows, scoffing under her breath as she turned away. "We'll see about that," she muttered, loud enough for Selena to hear. As the moving truck continued to unload, boxes stacking on the porch, the neighborhood stood at attention. Some neighbors pretended not to watch, others whispered behind curtains. Selena focused on her tasks, carrying items inside with deliberate calm, but Patricia was already retreating to her home, her mind racing with plans. What she didn't realize was that her first step in this battle had set the stage for a much bigger revelation, one that would challenge not just her assumptions, but her very grip on the community. Inside her impeccably organized home, Patricia paced the kitchen, her heels now muffled by the tile floor. Her husband, Richard, glanced up from his coffee, sensing the storm brewing. "What's got you riled up this time, Pat?" "That woman," Patricia spat, gesturing toward the window. "She's renting the corner house, I can tell. No respect for the rules. Boxes everywhere, no introduction to the neighbors. It's a violation waiting to happen." Richard sighed, folding his newspaper. "Maybe give her a chance. She just got here." "A chance?" Patricia's eyes flashed. "This neighborhood doesn't run on chances. It runs on standards. If I let one renter slip in, it'll be parties and trash on the curbs before you know it." She grabbed her clipboard from the counter, flipping through the HOA bylaws she knew by heart. Section 4.2. No rental properties allowed without board approval. Section 7.1. All new residents must register with the HOA within 48 hours. Her pen scratched furiously as she drafted a notice, her handwriting precise and unyielding. This would be her opening salvo, a piece of paper that carried the weight of her authority. Meanwhile, across the street, Selena wiped sweat from her brow as she directed the movers. The house was hers, purchased outright with cash, the deed signed and filed just days ago. She had chosen Willow Lane for its quiet charm, the promise of a fresh start after years of city hustle, but already the encounter with Patricia lingered like a shadow. Nosy neighbors, she muttered to herself, shaking her head with a faint smile. She wasn't one to back down, but she preferred peace over conflict. As the morning wore on, the sun climbed higher, and the moving truck's contents spilled onto the lawn. Furniture wrapped in protective padding, lamps, bookshelves filled with novels and legal texts, hints of Selena's life as a real estate attorney. She paused to sip water, glancing around at the pristine yards. It was clear this place had rules, but Patricia's aggression felt personal, laced with unspoken prejudice. Patricia, watching from her window, felt her resolve harden. She taped the notice to Selena's front door with deliberate force, the bold print screaming notice of HOA violation. Demands listed below. Remove moving boxes from the porch. Present proof of residency. Provide documentation of ownership or tenancy within 72 hours. Satisfied, she stepped back, arms crossed, waiting for the reaction. Selena emerged moments later, coffee mug in hand, and spotted the paper fluttering in the breeze. She read it twice, her expression shifting from amusement to irritation. "This is ridiculous," she murmured, peeling it off and folding it neatly. She had closed on the property legally. This was harassment disguised as protocol. A throat clearing drew her attention. Patricia stood at the edge of her driveway, arms crossed, as if she had been waiting. "Good morning," Patricia said, though her tone carried no warmth. "Morning," Selena replied, sipping her coffee. "I see you've received the notice." Patricia continued, nodding toward the paper. "Yes, I read it," Selena said simply. "And?" Patricia pressed, expecting obedience. Selena shrugged. "I don't see how this applies to me." Patricia's eyes flashed. "It applies to everyone who lives here. If you're renting, that's a violation. If you're improperly storing items on the porch, that's a violation. The HOA has rules for a reason." Selena lowered her mug, her patience wearing thin. "Let's clear something up. I'm not renting, and those boxes, I'm moving in. It's called life." From across the street, a man watering his lawn slowed his movements, listening. Curtains twitched. The audience was growing. Patricia took a step forward, her voice rising for the neighborhood's benefit. "Then provide documentation. If you're truly the owner, that shouldn't be difficult. Otherwise, you'll be fined." Selena set her coffee on the porch rail and straightened. "Fined for living in my own house. Correct," Patricia said without blinking. There was a pause, heavy and tense. Selena looked her in the eye, then broke into a small laugh. "You know, I closed on this house less than a week ago. Cash, signed deed, title transfer, the works. And here you are, trying to slap fines on me like I snuck in under the cover of night." That laugh unsettled Patricia. It was calm, confident. "Until I see proof, this property is under review," she said firmly. Selena's response was measured. "And I know mine, which right now is getting my belongings into my home, not defending myself from someone who doesn't even know my name." The sting of that remark hit Patricia hard. The man across the street shifted uncomfortably and retreated inside. People were noticing. Selena picked up her coffee. "You want proof? Fine, I'll show you proof. But when I do, I expect an apology." Patricia scoffed. "Don't hold your breath." Selena's tone dropped. "Oh, I won't, because unlike you, I don't go around making assumptions about strangers." Patricia froze, words failing her. She turned on her heel, retreating with wounded pride but intact determination. As Selena tucked the notice inside, she shook her head. Some people really don't know when to quit. The morning progressed, but the tension lingered. Patricia, back in her kitchen, fumed, drafting more notices. She wouldn't let this go. Selena, unpacking boxes, felt the weight of being targeted. Neighbors whispered, the divide beginning to form. By midday, as the sun beat down, Patricia returned with another notice, slipping it under the door. Selena found it while arranging furniture, her irritation growing. But she waited, knowing her deed was stronger than any paper Patricia could produce. The afternoon brought more confrontations. Patricia marched over again, demanding compliance. Selena, now in the backyard adjusting flower pots, heard the heels on gravel. "You're trespassing," she said calmly. "I'm documenting." Patricia replied, snapping photos with her phone. Selena stood. "Document all you want, but if you don't leave, I'll call the police." Patricia smirked. "Go ahead. I'll explain you're refusing proof." The exchange drew an audience, children on bikes, neighbors on walks. Selena pulled out her folded deed. "You want proof? Here it is." Patricia's smirk faltered as Selena unfolded the official document. Gasps from the crowd. "This house belongs to me." Selena said, holding it high. Patricia flushed. Anyone could print that. Selena raised an eyebrow, checked the public records. The mail carrier nodded. She's right. Online in minutes. Patricia glared, then recovered. Even if you're the owner, that doesn't excuse non-compliance. Selena tucked the deed away. It doesn't give you the right to harass neighbors you don't approve of. You've targeted me from day one because you assumed I didn't belong. Whispers spread. Patricia's authority slipped. Selena softened. I'm not here to cause trouble. I want peace. Patricia muttered, I'll review the situation, and retreated, but Patricia wasn't done. She dug into property surveys, discovering the boundary shift. Part of her yard now Selena's. Thrilled, she saw leverage. Evening approached as Patricia stormed over with surveys. Explain this. Selena, pulling weeds, rose. I know about the adjustment. It's in my deed. Patricia's face drained. I've maintained this for years. The county survey says otherwise. Selena replied. Neighbors gathered. Howard Briggs spoke. She's right, Patricia. Facts are facts. Patricia spun. You're siding with her? Howard nodded. Siding with facts? Selena didn't gloat. I don't want your yard, but I won't be bullied. Patricia stormed off, fuming. As night fell, the neighborhood buzzed. Selena sat on her porch, reflecting. The day's events had exposed cracks in Patricia's control. Whispers of change filled the air. The sun continued its arc across the sky, casting long shadows on Willow Lane as the afternoon deepened. What had begun as a simple moving day had spiraled into a full-blown neighborhood drama, with Patricia Kincaid at the center, her authority challenged like never before. Selena Ward, still unpacking amid the chaos, felt the weight of the stares from behind curtains and fences. The boundary dispute had ignited something deeper, a questioning of Patricia's reign that rippled through the street like a wave. Patricia, back in her home, slammed the survey packet on the counter. Her husband, Richard, looked up wearily. Pat, maybe let this go. Let this go. She snapped. She's taking part of my yard. My reputation is on the line. Richard sighed. You're making enemies. Patricia ignored him, grabbing her clipboard. She called for an impromptu sidewalk meeting, setting up a folding table outside her house. Neighbors trickled over, curious. This is about standards. She barked to Howard Briggs and others. She's reckless, no respect for process. Howard nodded dutifully, but his wife, Elena, avoided eye contact. Cracks showed. Selena, sensing the tension, carried groceries inside. Elena lingered at the curb. Be patient. She whispered, people are watching. Selena smiled faintly. Thank you. As evening approached, the divide grew. Denise Howell stopped by Selena's porch. Not everyone thinks like Patricia. We're glad you're here. Selena nodded. I didn't move here to fight. But Patricia thrived on conflict. She ranted to her group, her voice carrying. If she stays unchecked, who knows what comes next? Neighbors acted differently. Kids crossed the street. Greetings turned curt. Patricia felt the shift, but denied it. Selena dialed her attorney. I need advice on this situation. The attorney assured her, deeds ironclad. Meanwhile, Patricia plotted. She marched to Selena's backyard again, camera in hand. I'm escalating. Selena, adjusting soil, stood. Leave now. Patricia snapped photos, refusing compliance. Neighbors gathered. Selena held firm. This is harassment. Patricia smirked. Prove ownership. Selena showed the deed again. Gasps. Patricia recovered weakly. Doesn't excuse rules. Selena countered. This is about you being wrong. The crowd murmured agreement. Patricia retreated, authority slipping further. As dusk fell, whispers of new leadership spread. Patricia called an emergency meeting for that evening at the community center. Flyers stuffed in mailboxes, mandatory attendance. The center filled with buzzing residents. Patricia at the podium. We face a threat to order. She accused Selena. Refuses rules, claims my land. Selena responded calmly, I'm the owner. The survey corrected boundaries. I want peace, not control. Howard stood. This feels personal. Patricia, harassment. Agreement rumbled. Denise suggested, time for new leadership. The room erupted. Patricia banged the podium. Fine vote. Ballots distributed. Votes counted. No confidence overwhelming. Patricia stammered, mistake. But the crowd turned to Selena. Handshakes, applause. Patricia wobbled off, Richard guiding her home. Night enveloped the street. Relief washed over neighbors. Selena breathed easier, but empathy for Patricia lingered. Stars twinkled over Willow Lane as the evening deepened, the day's events culminating in a palpable shift. The vote had stripped Patricia of her title, but the air still hummed with unresolved tension. Selena Ward sat on her porch, sipping tea, reflecting on the whirlwind, from arrival to boundary, reveal to leadership change, all in one relentless day. Neighbors waved freely now. Denise joined Selena. You stood up for us all. Selena chuckled. I just wanted peace. Richard crossed to Selena's gate. She's not herself. Thank you for not humiliating her. Selena smiled. We all stumble. As midnight neared, Patricia emerged, crossing to Selena. Neighbors watched. I overstepped. Patricia said quietly, I'm sorry. Selena studied her. Apology accepted. Fix it with the neighborhood. Patricia nodded. I'll try. The street relaxed. Laughter drifted. Selena felt at home, the lesson clear. Respect over control. The day ended with Willow Lane transformed, not by fences, but by understanding.
If you liked this story, please like, subscribe, and share it with others so they can learn something from it too.